So really, the functionality of this isn't complete. So we need to find a way to change this text value here dynamically when we press the button. And all we really need to do is go ahead and set another variable that holds a new type. So I'm going to say var new type is equal to, and we're going to create an inline if statement or a one-line if statement, and this is essentially going to check if the type is equal to password. In fact, let's do it the traditional way first, and then I'll go and show you how to shorten this out. So I'm going to create an if statement. The condition is going to be if the type is equal to password. Then we obviously need to change this value here to text. So we can create a variable saying new type, and that's going to be equal to text. Now otherwise, if the type is equal to text, we want to go ahead and set the new type to password. And what's going to happen now is this is going to allow us, when we replace this value here with this new type, to switch between the two, because each time we change the checkbox, i.e. we tick it or untick it, we'll grab the type and modify it accordingly. So essentially what we're doing is we're swapping password for text or text for password. So let's go ahead and substitute this in. So new underscore type, and that will just change the type to either text or password depending on what it's currently at. So I don't really like this long if statement here, it's slightly unnecessary, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make this a bit shorter. So I'm going to say var new type is equal to, and in brackets we create our condition, so I'm going to say type equals password. Now if the type does equal password, we set the value of new type, we set the value text into new type, otherwise we set the value password to new type. So essentially this is saying if type equals password, then new type equals text, otherwise new type equals password. So that's just a shorter way to write out that long and unnecessarily 5-6 line if statement. So let's go ahead and check this in our browser. So let's just run through the process. When we type in a password, that's password, and we click the show password checkbox, we grab all the relevant information, we check what the current type of the field is, and then we remove the previous field. So we remove this field entirely. Then we create a new field in its place using dot before with the new type. So this will just switch between types. So I'm going to click show password, and you can see that the password has been shown. But now when I uncheck it, it checked for the type, and obviously, like, let's just take an example. At the moment the type of this is password, so when we check the button it will check the type is password and it will create a new field with the type text, and then when we uncheck it, it will check and see if this is text, and if it is text it will change the type to password. So it's quite hard to see how this works in jQuery because it's so quick at removing and re-adding elements in the DOM. But essentially what we're doing is just, changing over the type of the input field. Obviously in reality that's not what we're actually doing, we're actually removing it and replacing it with a new one, but it works the same way, it has the same effect. Now, like I said before, if you wanted to go ahead and add something like a maximum length to this, you would have to go ahead and say we've got max length equals 10 here. You'd have to go ahead and grab this just under here. So I'll go ahead and just demonstrate this quickly. So I'm going to say previous.attribute max length, and inside here what we can now do is specify this afterwards. So max length equals, and then we can just go ahead and append on, let's just pull that over, we can go ahead and append on the value for max length. So now what's going to happen is, regardless of what we type, so I'm gonna just type a load of characters, the max length attribute has stopped me here. So now when I show the password, oh okay, so something has gone wrong there, let's just check. Oh yeah, okay, so that's max L, not max length. I've called it up here. Okay, so back, let's go ahead and refresh. I can type a load of characters once again and it stops me. When I press show password, it shows what I've typed. However, I still am pressing keys on my keyboard. I'm sure you can hear it on the microphone, me just pressing keys, nothing's happening. When I go back to my original password and I try to press more keys, you can see that the max length attribute has been retained. Now if we didn't include this, let's get rid of that and let's go ahead and get rid of that. Then what's going to happen is when we have the original password field, that's fine, it stops us at the point of 10 characters. However, when we show password, because we didn't pass this attribute back over, we can continue to type in here. And then when we uncheck that again, we can continue to type even more. So it's important that any attribute you think that you're going to give your password field, that you retain, and actually, again, like, let me just undo all this, that you grab the attribute using attra, and then you place it back into the recreated form field or the field. So we've successfully created a nifty little script that's going to allow a user to obviously check and uncheck a password to show it. Like I said, it is cross-compatible with all other elements or all other password fields on your page. So let's just put a break there. If you were to go ahead and use 2 of these on your page, for example, when you type them, they won't interfere with each other. You can do 2 things at once, and you can show and unshow each one. And because we're referencing them correctly in our code, there's no conflict there available, or there's no conflict at all. So that's just a short but quite easy in terms of how it's written. It's not too much code, and a great way to add this to your page for every password field.